get Earl up here to speak for himself, ladies and gentlemen. I give you a businessman, a philanthropist. I give you the Portland Chamber of Commerce Man of the Year, Mr. Earl Brooks.
The movie Mr. Brooks, I just thought, almost in the same way I thought about Field of Dreams. Even though they're polar opposite type movies, I just thought they both were classic in their originality. I never dreamed that I would one day be standing here. Oh, gorgeous.
Hey, Daddy.
I think you should go back to school.
You didn't even go to college, and you're successful.
But truly, Mr. Brooks is no Field of Dreams. More of a nightmare when Mr. Brooks is dressed to kill.
Hello.
And
What are you doing? Look at me.
Mr. Costner plays Mr. Brooks, and he plays the bad guy for a change.
No visible signs of forced entry. We even had to cut the security chains to get in.
If I didn't know better, I'd say these people were killed by a ghost.
And just who saw him as the bad guy? His good friends.
I've been watching that couple for months. Until I saw you kill them.
I was in London making Upside of Anger. The script was sent by a friend, Kevin Reynolds. His friend were the writers, and they'd written this part, and they wrote it for me. And I was a little disturbed that they wrote this for me. But when I read it, I just thought, wow, boy, if we do this, we got to stick right to the script. And if we do this, we can't let anything alter that. And if I don't do this, I think that would be a mistake.
Detective Atwood, Portland Police, how are you tonight?
Pardon?
She's caught a lot of people. Bring all the pictures. That way we can like each other simply for who we are.
I was just really taken with this because I don't really like serial killer movies. I don't even like scary movies. I don't like being creeped out.
action!
Why are you a cop?
Who is this?
You're rich. You have a good education. You could have gone into your father's business. Instead, you went outside all of that and became successful on your own. Why?
Mr. Baffert?
This movie seemed to be more of an intellectual journey, even though it has some of that stuff that goes with it. I think it's like hard to not watch because it weirdly has even a sense of humor that that you're not quite prepared for. But when you see it, you go, yeah, well, that's why.
You're Man of the Year, Mr. Brooks.
That's a logical way to look at things, and it makes you laugh.
It's darker tonight than it was on your night. But still, how did you manage to not bump into the furniture?
What I realize is that this guy has a killer gene in him, but what I realize is that he just doesn't get it. I mean, and the writers were smart to give me the line. I don't do this because I enjoy it. I do it because I'm addicted to it.
Was the light on, or did you turn it on? Because I know you, and you wouldn't risk a shot in the dark. Where have you been? Did you miss the thrill of killing?
Mr. Brooks shows the dark side.
Don't worry. If I were here to kill you, you would already be dead.
It also shows the lighter side of a family man whose family doesn't know that he makes a killing for a living.
I thought you were wonderful tonight, Mrs. Brooks.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
I think the notion of layers, many layers, is not bad for any movie because as people, we know that there's stuff underneath. And can't always get to it with characters. Sometimes people don't even think it's important to. And this one, it's one of the kind of highlights of it, to see how he operates at home.
Conveyor belt and action.
How he operates at the office, how he operates in the factory, and smoothly, and yet he's under terrible pressure, mental pressure. We oddly, and we might even question ourselves as an audience, be honest, because I think probably there's 3 or 4 times in the movie where we maybe even find ourselves rooting for Mr. Brooks. And the notion of that, at least on the surface, would seem impossible.
I suddenly got this feeling that you had something to tell me.
We'd like to speak to Jane Brooks, if it's possible.
Did Jane ever tell you that there was a murder at her school?
It's an honest character, and he honestly cares for his family, and he honestly cares about his work and employees, and you know, I think why you end up liking him is there's a certain honesty, even in his faults.
I love what you are thinking.
We are going to have so much fun.
Still ahead on Hollywood One-on-One.
I wanted to be a surgeon.
You?
I wanted to be in the emergency room. So now I'm a nurse. That's as close as I could get.